most of the guys, and I'm going to say this, obviously, I'm going to hit heat for this. Most guys who go to girls for emotional support are going to them for attention. Hello, guys. Welcome to the 6th episode of a series which I launched a few weeks back, Polarising Dialogue, which is like a series where me and my good friend here, Sakhi, my friend from school, we talk about a lot of topics, a lot of politics in general, and mostly it's just us disagreeing on a lot of things. But the topic today is actually a pretty lively one. And the topic today is actually mental health, depression, and I already know. Actually, I'm not even
Why
going to
is it
start.
lively? That is so
Because I mean, like, okay, maybe horrible choice of words, but I think it's a very passionate topic. I think that's the better word. It's a very passionate topic because people have strong opinions and views when it comes to mental health and depression and all these things.
I think people
Saki, do you
relate with
wanna?
this a lot, so I think they'd want to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any opening thoughts? I mean, if you have them, you can just add.
I don't have any opening thoughts, but I remember you mentioning that you associate depression with laziness a lot of times, and I think we should start at that. You should
Oh
start.
yeah, yeah. Fine. First of all, depression. I do not believe in it. I used to believe in it, but then certain people came around. I watched certain people, and then, like depression is maybe it isn't real. And yeah, I do believe in the feeling of being depressed. I do believe sadness and being depressed is a real thing. I don't believe depression. I think I'm just quoting that man at this point. But yeah, it's just believing in depression takes a lot of power away from you, and it just gives you a lot of room to give excuses. You can literally give depression as an excuse to do whatever. Maybe you have laundry pending, just laundry list, the laundry is just building up and you don't want to do it. It's laziness, but you'll be like, I have depression. I mean, it could be depression, but you claiming, you attaching yourself to that one thing, it's not serving you in any way, shape, or form. I mean, whatsoever. I personally don't know. I mean, when it comes to just me personally, what I did find out, at least now, for the last couple of months, is uh, I did not have depression. When I did claim I had depression, I was depressed, but then I actually claimed to have depression for attention, and yeah, most people don't want to admit that. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of heavy opinions when it comes to this. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to rant on for too much. I mean, I'm learning that as well. So I mean, yeah, what do you think about that?
I think the thing that you're saying, I feel like you're generalizing it too much because there are people you might not have faced it. I also haven't been through a phase like that. I mean, I'm very thankful, but there are people I know, people who are close to me, who have real problems, have gone through shit, have come out of it, and yes, that definitely was not lazy. I feel like we confuse laziness with depression because the underlying symptoms, like lack of motivation or lack of willing, lack of productivity, all of that are similar in both the cases, right? So that's why we confuse both the things. But then when we think about depression, people with that, they have, no matter what they change about their lives, their habits, their social circle, or no matter how happy they try to be, they just cannot be. So that's when we know that the problem is deeper than they think it is. That's when I think you said that uh, accepting that one is depressed does not do any good. I feel like it does, because people oftentimes are confused about what they feel. And when they accept that, okay, I am in this phase where I do not feel happy, or I do not want to do something, I'm in a bad, mental space. When you accept that, the day you accept that, I think you open doors for changes to happen, right? Okay, I am in this phase, I accept it. Now I need to look out for ways where I can get out of it, seek help, and whatever that
You understand? Yeah.
there is. So what do you think about
Yeah, but I think most of what I said, you completely misinterpreted it. I did not I did not confuse laziness for depression. I did say that most people who claim to have depression right now are lazy. I'm not saying all the people who have depression are lazy. I'm not kind of replacing depression or feeling depressed with laziness. What I did say is just subscribing to the idea that you have a disease, that you have some kind of foreign thing in your mind which you have absolutely no control over, is not, is like a completely non-competitive mindset. Like whether you have depression or not, the world is still gonna function the same. The world is still, everything's just gonna be the same. It's just that you are now living in your head constantly, and it's just a non-competitive mindset you have. Like even if you do have depression, let's just okay, assume that you have this kind of foreign thing that your mind is completely obsessed over. Even if you did have it, the way you function in the best possible way is to still assume you don't have anything, is to assume you're fine. It's the power of placebo effect. I think it was seen with cancer patients. I was talking with one of my friends about the same topic a few days back, and he was citing the study where he was talking about his own aunt, where he was telling that he was saying that cancer is mostly like 80% 90% mental, and she used to perform every single day like she did not have cancer. And mind you, this person had cancer. Even if you have depression, you, this kind of things you still have to get done for the day. It doesn't change. So when you do subscribe to this idea that you have depression, now you have some kind of excuse to not do these things. And society pretends to care. It frankly does not. They'll be like, oh, it's okay that you're depressed, it's okay to cry. But at the same time, they're unconsciously losing respect for you. They're unconsciously like the unconscious, that unconscious reaction when a guy cries in particular is you're a crybaby, whether you want to accept it or not. And how you deal with it is your own thing. You can either accept it and be like, men can cry or whatever, or you can accept reality and function accordingly. And yeah, I did not, accepting the fact that one is depressed is one thing that everyone must do. I did not say it was a bad thing to accept the fact that you're depressed. I said that it is bad to accept the fact that you have a disease that you don't have any control over. That is bad. But at this point, you're just giving control away. And yeah, I mean, again, non-competitive mindset. And yeah, that's why you completely misinterpreted what I said completely. But it's fine. It's fine.
No, because the way you said it, and we've had this conversation before, and you were talking about laziness and depression together. So I said what I believed you thought about. And yeah.
Most of the guys do have laziness, and it's not depression. I can tell you for certain, because I mean, bro, when it comes to a guy's life, you have to provide value. And this is something that I cite all the time. If you do not have value to offer, you are just very replaceable as a guy. And when you are very replaceable, people are just going to leave you. That's just a fact, right? And guys who are depressed, or most of the guys who I've spoken with, at least my age, who claim to have depression, they are just losers who absolutely have nothing going on for them. I mean, obviously, if you're living like you are, you don't deserve to feel like a winner. I think I said this even in one of my videos that I posted, one of the first videos that I posted. You literally do absolutely nothing the entire day, and you expect to feel the same way a guy who has done everything that he has to do for the day. I mean, isn't that kind of unfair? And what is the difference between a winner and a loser? You have to define everything. For that to be a winner, that has to be a loser. And for a guy to sit there and just claim that he has depression, so he's not going to do X, he's going to get destroyed by the guy who's like, I have depression, I feel bad, but doesn't matter, I'm going to do the same things anyway. I wake up, I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym anyway. Now look at how many laps I'll run around the guy who sits there and is like, I woke up and I don't feel like it, so I'm not going. Feelings are irrelevant. And it's actually kind of ironic when you think about this. When you actually don't give too much weight to your feelings, you actually end up feeling better in the first. You end up feeling better. Like, come on, like it's like completely obsessing about how you feel. It's counterintuitive. And yeah, I just went on a whole rant there. What do you think about that?
See, this part is definitely true, that I've also seen people like, okay, they have something going on and they pretend diseases, it works very well, right? You said that thing about cancer, and I have my grandparents, my grandfather, he also had cancer, but the way he dealt with it, he's come very, very strong out of it. So yeah, 100% that is there. And this thing about I think this will go on for a whole
Go on,
debate.
it's fine.
This men showing emotions and all of that, I feel like it is important. See, you say that it's a man being stoic and not showing emotions, that uh, what gives him respect or something. Okay, yeah, to a certain point, yeah. But when you show emotions, you're not going to show it to the world. There are going to be certain people, and there has to be at least one person. Everybody deserves to have at least one person with whom you can be vulnerable and sad and can be whatever you want, because you need to let that thing out of you. If we could live alone and we could thrive and all of that, then we wouldn't be social creatures. So even if you're, there needs to be someone where you're vulnerable with. You're not going to be showing your emotions to the world. But I think it is very important for it to come out in front of anybody, for that matter.
I
Your
agree.
close
I
ones,
agree.
obviously.
I agree. Yeah. But my point is, when it does come out, do not let it come out with a girl. That's my point. With a guy, you be as emotional as you want. You be as open as you want with your emotions, with your brothers, with your father. With, I mean, okay, mother. There is this one thing that I'll say. Obviously, many people will get offended. The only two people that you can trust in this world, the only two girls that you can truly 100% be vulnerable with without it having any kind of negative effects on you, is your sister and your mother. Even if it's your friend who is a girl, you be emotional, she's going to lose that tinge of respect for you unconsciously. She'll not admit it, but she'll naturally become more masculine. Whether it is what you want or not, it's for you to decide. I personally don't want that. I don't think most guys who I, at least I speak with or associate with, or most guys who I observe, they don't want that. As in, you can literally observe, like observe this, like when the guy is emotional and all these things, the girl will say it's fine to cry, it's fine to do whatever, and the girl will start acting differently from the next day. And you kind of completely feel stupid. You cannot even say this out loud. The girl will like completely outright deny it, because even she doesn't understand what this is happening. All of this is unconscious. And I don't know, for a guy, absolutely, you have to understand all the realities, unconscious realities, unfair realities, every single thing you have to understand and operate based on it. You cannot complain about one piece missing on the chessboard. If you're down a piece, you're down a piece. Complaining about it does not bring the piece back. You have to operate at, again, it's all of my mindset is just based on competitiveness. And yeah, I've stopped talking about this in length because mostly it requires a lot of energy from my side, and it's actually a very niche topic which you need a specific point of view to understand. I'm not saying men shouldn't be emotional. You be emotional with guys with your male friends, and as much as your girl wants you to be emotional, she is going to lose respect for you
My
unconsciously.
point is, my point is, see, if you don't, if you're dating someone and if you're serious about them and you know they have feelings for you, you have feelings for them, okay, that creates a space where you can be vulnerable because it's a very close relationship. See, when you marry a girl, when you marry a girl, she becomes a part of your family. So you will obviously behave the same with her like you behave with others, right? You can be emotional, you can be vulnerable, and she's not going to judge you for that because, see, if she judges you for what you're feeling, or how, if she thinks that it's ridiculous, I mean, you're a man, you gotta man up and you gotta do things that, you know, men usually do with strength and with courage and all of that. She's not the one. She's not understanding your situation. She is not getting what you are, you know, in the space that you're in. She's not getting it, and she's just the wrong person that you're dealing with. And I'm just sad for you if someone's in a relationship like that. Don't you think that is important? Because that's the closest you can be to a person when you're in a
That
relationship.
is a very that is a very interesting take. Although you're
Hmm.
wrong, I'll tell you why you're wrong. Because most girls, however gorgeous they may be, no girl, at least no girl I associate with, will tell me straight to my face that man up. They won't say it, but they'll feel it. It's unconscious, which is why I use the word unconscious. The actions change, bro. What you say is irrelevant to me. You can tell me that you love me or whatever, still act completely different the next day. Obviously, that's gonna hurt me so much more than whatever you said. What you said is irrelevant. Your actions speak to me. Your words are irrelevant. My words speak volume. Your actions speak volume. See, so it's not like the girls I associate with don't want me to be vulnerable. I think most guys who just have a masculine nature do not want to be vulnerable with girls. And sometimes when they are vulnerable, what I don't know, you can go and Quora and a lot of sites based on this. And I've even had my personal experiences, but I don't really use my personal experiences as examples, because I look at the statistics, like the bigger statistics at hand, like the bigger picture as a whole, and it does speak volumes. The kind of things that you expect from your girl, you won't get them. If at all you cry and you show weakness to this girl, and that's just a cold-blooded reality. And it being the wrong person, every single female is like this. Unconsciously, that's how you guys are wired. That's not a wrong, that's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining about it. That's just how you guys are wired. Because I don't know, men are designed to be leaders. Men, it's as a masculine trait to be a leader. It's a masculine trait, whether you want to accept it or not. In psychology, this is extensively studied. If you picked a man, if you picked a girl and a boy at random, the guy, if you kind of picked the guy to be a better leader than the girl, you'll be right 60% of the time. That's a psychological study. That's based on a psychological study. That's a fact, right? And so based on these, again, a lot of studies is what I base my arguments on. And this is just how you guys are wired. And since again, I kind of went on a tangent there. Since men are designed to be leaders, like intrinsically we are designed to be leaders, when you do cry, it shows a level of weakness. And when it does show a level of weakness, whether the guy wants to accept it or not, I'm not saying weakness is a bad thing necessarily, but it shows weakness, right? And when it does show weakness, girls tend to lose respect for their leaders or tend to choose other leaders, turn to other leaders. And I'm not saying this is as extreme as it sounds. I'm not saying as soon as I cry, the girl's just going to leave me. But this is the extreme. This is intrinsically what it is. And when it is intrinsically what it is, the actions kind of start being tied to this intrinsic thing, what it is at the core. She loses respect for me as a guy. She wouldn't abide by my rules or whatever, my expectations of her or whatever. So when I do, I'll tell her, I don't like you speaking to this ex guy or whatever. She's like, fuck, should I listen to you? Like, dumbass.
I feel
like,
like if you're with the right person, and if they tell you what kind of mental space they are in, you would try to, you know, guide them towards something better. Like, okay, males make small progress, but get better. Okay, leave this or that. Or, you're getting better. Encourage them and just be there for them. I mean, if you're really into that person, you would do that because, see, like you said, there are many options for men and women. Okay, women probably have more options. They can go around, find another dude, and all of that is there. But when you're actually into someone, you would not lose respect for them, but you would try to make them better as a person. And that person who is in a relationship with you, they would also feel the energy. They'd be like, okay, I want to do better for this person because she's really trying. She's trying, and since she is giving me her best version, I would want to become the best for her. I think that's the psychology when both of you are really into each other, and that is extremely important in a relationship like that. And I don't think there is superiority or inferiority in this thing, and if it is there, then it's sad because then you can't be your complete whole self in front of the people that you're closest to. So I think you should just be on the pursuit of finding that one person where you can be comfortable with. Feel like
So
that's
there
how
is
it
this
is.
book. There is this book, right? I have this book right next to me, Way of the Superior Man. And yeah,
Written by
so written by
Jordan
David
Peterson.
Data. Nah, I have that book as well. I have that book as well near me. My brother gifted me for my birthday. So point is, in this book, right? So basically, whatever you said, it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's right when it comes to your perspective and your way to live the world. I'm just saying, if a guy, you as a masculine guy, you want I think it's kind of a fact that you attract your opposite. If you're very masculine, you end up attracting a very feminine girl. You, Saki, I don't think you are that feminine, right? You are towards the middle. You are more of a masculine girl. You are more of a masculine girl than the average girl. So obviously, most of your views and most of your opinions would be based on this whole thing that, I mean, I don't know, guy and girl in a relationship are friends or they are both equal. I mean, it's a partnership and all these things,
I'm
right?
talking about the emotional side, so that is definitely my feminine side coming out, no?
Emotional side in what sense? Like helping the guy
I
get
mean,
through it.
yeah, that's a
That's not
very
feminine.
that's a very
That's really not.
emotional. That's not a feminine trait. That's just sad
Okay,
then.
first of all, a girl helping a guy with whatever he's going through, it's very rare. Absolutely very rare. Because the reality for a guy, the reality for a guy, it's completely different from the reality of a girl. If a girl tells me that, I mean, I don't know, I get 5-6 DMs a day, normal, and I'm like, I get 0 per month. I don't get anything. You can look at me. You can look at it. The girl look at me weird. Like, she doesn't understand. She doesn't understand when attention is not in her fingertips, when these kinds of texts and all these. This is just an example, but she doesn't. I'm just telling you how reality is just completely different for guys and completely different for girls. So when it comes to just advice, or when it comes to just, I don't know, concrete support for whatever you're going through, girls rarely provide that. I think most of the guys, and I'm gonna say this, obviously, I'm gonna hit heat for this. Most guys who go to girls for emotional support are going to them for attention. They're going to them for pity. It's not for support. If you want support, if you want actual concrete support, you go to your guy friends where they'll actually give you concrete solutions to whatever you're going through. But when a guy is sad, the girl is kind of obliged to listen to him. Look at this. If he normally talks, you won't listen. But now suddenly he's sad, you'll actually listen to him. I mean, if you don't listen to him, you're a bad person. You're a bad person, right? And
I feel like there's also this thing that most men fear being vulnerable to their guy friends because they know they'll get judged. Because some people, they go to their guy friends and they're like, okay, I'm going through this and I'm sad and all of that. And like, fuck it, bro, nobody cares. Just we're not talking about this, and they just shut him off like that. And then there's just that space, that emotional space that you find with women, because women are more emotional in that sense. You don't get the same space with your guy friends because it's just not there. Don't you think? I mean, do you have all that emotional space with your guy friends? Because that is very rare.
yeah, first of all, emotional space when it comes to guys and emotional space when it comes to girls, it's different. So when it comes to emotional space for you, it's I don't know, it's extensively talking about your feelings or whatever, like completely explaining it, trying to understand each other's feelings or whatever. When it comes to guys talking about our feelings, it's kind of solutions. Every problem has a solution. You are not going through something which does not have a solution. There is a solution. And if at all you present a problem to me, and obviously what you described as toxic friendship between males, like guys shouldn't be like that. But I think what you are referring to and the part you're missing is actually the guy will be vulnerable with his guy friend. The guy friend will give him a solution and he's like, oh no, nah man, I don't think that'll work. You haven't even tried it. You're like, I don't think that'll work. I don't see it in any other I don't see it in any other way than you seeking attention. Like you don't genuinely you don't want to get better. What do you want me to say? Just man up. And I have said this thing to one of my people in class. He's always negative. He's completely always negative. He's like, I hate college. I hate XYZ. I tried so many times. I gave him concrete steps to improve. Go to the gym, start cold approaching girls to improve your confidence, start finding your purpose, sit down, write extensively about what you want to achieve in life, what are your extensive goals. He doesn't want to do any of it. And every single day, he just comes to me like, college is shit, college is shit. Obviously, I understand. And every single time he comes to me with a problem right now, is like, you deserve it. You deserve it. Because honestly, most people in this world, they fail to realize it. They fail to realize this is a very competitive world. I truly do not understand how people just go around life with this non-competitive mindset. It troubles me. It completely troubles me. And again, like when it comes to just getting I don't know, feminine energy or whatever, because girls are more in touch with their emotions, is what you said. What did you actually say? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, the emotional space, the kind of emotional space that you find with women, you don't find the same thing with men. And that's why certain men feel.
Yeah, but women will give you attention, and women are not as good as men when it comes to smelling out bullshit. And when it comes to smelling out bullshit, when it comes to just ranting, so I think a guy is more likely to tell you that you're wrong when you're ranting about a big problem than a girl. The girl will just sit there and she'll just listen, which is good. I mean, it's not good or bad. It's just something that you do, right? But when it comes to when you need concrete solutions for your problems, guys are what you should go to. I mean, I don't know. At least me, guys are what I will go to. I have went to girls in the past. It has not worked out at all. I know a lot of guys who have gone to girls in the past. It has not worked out at all because honestly, some guys just want a very dynamic relationship, masculine, and a girl who's feminine. And when it comes to masculine, as long I have my extreme views, right? Girls are X, girls are Y. It kind of translates to my life as well. Extreme in my sense as well. I can't cry. I can't sit around be a loser. You can. If you sleep the entire day and you are barely productive, I won't mind. You should mind if I am doing the same thing. It's double standards on both the sides. Because this is reality. I operate on reality. I do not operate on feelings. I operate on reality.
But the reality is changing now. This mindset,
See,
I
one second,
have
one
not.
second, one second, one second. You've given me this answer so many times. I'll actually address it finally once. Reality can change. Reality can change. Biology cannot. Biology. I don't know why I spelled it so weird. Biology cannot. Reality can change however it wants. Biology cannot. And I don't know. World is just changing into this whole new a whole new era where girls are more masculine and guys are more feminine. I do not subscribe to that. I don't know. I mean, because guys being masculine and girls being feminine, it is proven to work. Look at how we are. Look at the society we have developed to, the kind of place we have developed to, with guys and girls following the gender roles. If you want to switch it up, do it. I don't know if it'll work. It might work. I don't want to try it. I'll just stick to whatever works. I'll just stick to whatever is proven, whatever history proved to me. I'll stick to it.
Biology.
Honestly, what you're preaching to me, it's easier for me to follow what you're preaching to me, because crying, being vulnerable, and all these things, it's easier. It's absolutely easier. I want to do it. I can't. I lose respect. It's like you have a longer term perspective. You want certain things from your girlfriend, and you want polarization. You want her to be obsessed with you or whatever. You want her to be obsessed with you. When you do certain things which are good for your short term, obviously I'll get attention for short term. I'll feel nice. And my girlfriend is actually listening to me and all these things. In the long term, her perspective will start changing. She won't be as obsessed with me after I become vulnerable, right? And yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
see,
Go
I'll
ahead. Go
obviously
ahead with the
not
history.
agree with it because I'm
Obviously, you
not
won't.
that kind of a person and I have different views. And the thing about
Obviously, you won't.
biology and reality is that, see, biologically or the historically, whatever, however we have been or we have adhered to gender roles and all of that, what actually matters to us, the reality matters. People right now, what they think, what the society thinks should matter to us because we're living in this era and things are changing according to that. Things will not change according to your perceptions. I mean, you can want a feminine girl, you'll find her. There are plenty of women all across the world, all kinds of people. But what the general perception is, that is changing. And what will you do with biology if it is
What do you
not
mean by
compatible with
general?
reality?
What do you mean by general perception is changing?
Like you said, the society, women are becoming more masculine than they were previously, and men are becoming more feminine, right? That's where the society is going towards, and things about emotions and depression and all of these things are being talked about a lot more than they were previously.
And
So if
guys are
the
killing themselves the most.
because of what? Because of what? Because of they lost respect. They lost
Yeah, I mean,
respect
see,
because
isn't
they
it
were
coincidental?
vulnerable.
Don't you think it's no? Don't you think it's coincidental?
I don't think
Now,
it's
at this
related at
point in
all.
time, 1 second. At this point in time, Stoicism is destroyed. I mean, I don't think it's very rare that people talk about Stoicism. Anyone who talks about Stoicism will get shamed. I will sit here, tell a guy, you be careful of you take control of your emotions. Your emotions are dangerous. Take control of it. Don't be as vulnerable as possible. Don't be vulnerable when it comes to just public. When it comes to the public, be vulnerable with your guy friends. All of these things. Society will shame me for this. Stoicism is getting killed in real time. It's getting killed. And don't you think it's very coincidental that at this point in time, guys are guys are absolutely encouraged to be emotional, but guys are just killing themselves. The statistics show that guys are just killing themselves the most right now. And
Because
I
of
don't know,
what?
feminism has
I don't
this
think
is a
so.
factor. This is a factor.
How big of a factor this is? Because it sounds very absurd. This is
Why
show
does
us.
it sound absurd?
It sounds absurd because I mean, men are just
To
opening up
us,
more, and there's just
yeah,
therapy
which is
is becoming
bad.
a thing, psychology is becoming a thing, and
Yeah,
people are reaching out for help.
first of all, therapies, I do not subscribe to therapies. Most therapies is a scam. Most of the therapies are a scam. You can actually observe this.
This
Self
should
improvement
become
works.
the this should become a tagline.
I mean, I don't know. At least in my sphere, in self improvement, I've been to a therapist a lot of times. It hasn't worked for me. I know a lot of people who have been to therapist. It doesn't work for them. Also, I know people who have been to therapist and it has worked. But most of the time, it does not work. You know what my therapist told me when I went to the therapist? It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to cry. Whatever. All of this bullshit advice. I mean, bro, it sounds nice on paper. I wish I could do it. It doesn't work. There are
But
many things that sounds nice on paper. Yeah, go ahead.
they tell you to accept the reality, but they will also tell you to make small progress. They're not going to be rude and they're not going to say just start doing it, because when you're already in a sensitive emotional space, if someone tells you that, it's most likely it's not going to work because you're already in a fucked up.
1 second, 1 second. Saki, that topic, it has to wait. I think the meeting already has kicked us out once. And I think if that starts, frankly, no one will, it'll just become too long. So best thing we'll do is just we'll make it 2 parts. Yeah, so guys, thank you so much for watching till this point of the video. It was actually very interesting. Again, just polarizing, how our polarizing viewpoints really try to find middle ground. It's actually really interesting when people, I think it should be encouraged everywhere that people engage in these types of conversations, because the discovery of one's own self that happens from these kinds of conversations, it's actually massive. So yeah, just the guys, if at all you're watching till this point in the video, just give it out a try. Anyone who you think are very polarizing to your viewpoints, try to have a conversation with them. It will be very uncomfortable, but it will be one which really will open up so many other areas of your life, and really so many other perspectives. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, see ya.